Ciao. Hello from Vietnam. It's good to be with you guys this morning. It's my quickest commute to Odessa I've ever had before, coming in virtually. But I just wanted to say thank you for supporting Manna Worldwide. Thank you for partnering with us. And that's what the neat thing about it is. There's another church in Odessa that you partner with. And between the two of you, you are helping support Vietnam and what's going on there. And I think it's a great thing. We have to bring in churches from all over. And so many times we look at something, we say, well, it's too big for me. I can't do all this. I can't do all that. That's why we have a body. That's why I have a body in the church. So I have a lot of people that come in and be a part of this thing. And the same thing with churches. We have churches that come in and partner together and say, we're going to hold this part. We're going to hold this part. Together, we're going to go do something great. And that's why I love Manna Worldwide. I think that's why we're a benefit. That's why we help missionaries come in and partner with them and help them reach their people more effectively. And many of you don't know who we are or what we do and how we started. And honestly, I think the easiest way to explain Manna is just say, why did we start? What was the purpose? What was the genesis of us starting? There was a missionary family. They were missionaries in the Philippines, named the O'Neills, and they would help mothers that had kids that were hurt or not hurt but hungry, and they would help feed them. And then one day they started a feeding center. And the way Bruce talks about it, he said, I just had the faith to just feed about 10 kids. That's all I thought I could do. Well, the next thing you know, they're feeding 250 kids every day. Unbelievable. And these kids get saved, and their parents get saved, and people in the community get saved. It was just crazy how God was reaching that area through this feeding center. That was an extension of his local church. The other missionaries were asking, like, how can we reach people like that? How are you doing it? And he said, I just did what Jesus did, and I fed them. And I loved on them, and it gave me a platform to reach in their lives and to share with them. They said, man, I wish we could do the same thing, but it takes money, and then how do we go raise money? How do we do this? How does this work? And he's like, maybe I can help. And so he came back to the States in 2001 and started Manna Worldwide. And now we have 225 projects in over 50 countries around the world. And that's what we do. We partner with missionaries and say, how can we help create an extension of your church where you can be the hands and feet of Christ, where you can show people who Jesus Christ is, how you can love them, how you can reach into neighborhoods you never could reach into before, how you can have a platform you've never had before. We have feeding centers, we have orphanages, we have schools, we have medical clinics, we actually have sports outreaches that slide us through the deaf community in Bangkok. And then in Vietnam, we have several feeding centers. We have an English school. People want to learn English. It's a great opportunity. Come in and learn English, and let us help teach you the Bible at the same time. And then we have your project where we're feeding kids in Saigon that are underprivileged. And actually, you're reaching out into a village, a remote village as well, and get to feed those kids. And it's just amazing how God's work. And I think also you have churches and people in America say, hey, I want to be involved. So many times missions it's something done in a black hole somewhere around the world that we don't know, we don't see. It's just kind of out there. I want it to be personal. I want you to be involved. I want you to be able to engage and do things you never thought were possible. I used to own a business. I did environmental consulting. I thought God could never use me. I was the guy that I'm just an engineer. I'm a nobody. And God showed me how he gave me relationships and how I could be involved and how he created me and gave me value. And I think there's so many people like me out there in the world that say, God, I want to be used. I just don't know how. You don't even see the gifts that God's given you and the abilities and the connections and the relationships. And now's an opportunity for you to partner and come alongside and be used. And I look at Luke chapter 7 where John the Baptist is in prison. And I've shared this with many around the world. John the Baptist is in prison and he's about to be executed. And so you think if there's one guy in the Bible that never doubt who Jesus was, it'd be John the Baptist. But he sends his men to Jesus and says, hey, ask him if he's the one or should we wait for somebody else? And what did Jesus do? How did Jesus respond to that question? He could have given all these prophets, said, hey, look at all the prophecies I fulfilled. Let me show you everything that I fulfilled in my life. That's just proof of who I am. Or he could even say, remember when you baptized me and the dove came down from heaven and God spoke from heaven? I mean, don't you remember all this stuff? He could have said, look at my resume. Look at what I've done. This proves who I am. That's not what he said. It was very interesting what he said. And I want to read you Luke chapter 7, verse 22. It says, "And he answered them, 'Go and tell John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, the poor have good news preached to them.'" Jesus knew something that we often forget. He showed them who he was. He just didn't tell them who he was. He said, tell him what you see me doing. And that's what God's called us to do. He's called us to be on this earth to show people who Jesus Christ is. Give them scripture and give them examples at the same time. Your actions are your greatest testimony. And that's true now more than ever. Everybody's watching everyone right now. This is a chance for us to be a light. This may be the greatest opportunity in our lifetime to show people who Jesus Christ is, to love people in ways, to give that platform to reach into their life. People are desperate, they're looking for answers, and they're looking for someone that's different, someone that's been changed, someone that wants to love on them and care for them and encourage them and engage them and do what they can for them. And that's what we're doing all around. That's what you're doing in Vietnam. So I want to encourage you, keep supporting your church. That's the most important thing. Keep supporting your church, because without churches, we have no purpose. We want to support these churches, and then keep supporting your missionaries. Our goal is to help missionaries and to come alongside missionaries and connect churches and missionaries together. So we need those two. That's our whole purpose. And then continue supporting Manna worldwide. We want to grow strong, healthy churches here and strong, healthy churches around the world. We want to plant more churches. We want to reach people that have not been reached. We want to go to the uttermost parts of the earth and go reach those people. I want to take you on a trip someday. I don't want this just to be something you've heard about. I don't want to just show you pictures, tell you stories. I want you to go see. I want you to hold them in your arms. I want you to love them. I want you to feed them with your own hands. I want you to see your kids, see where your money's going, see how you're supporting. And I want you to go encourage the missionary there and see these missionary partners on the ground that are planting churches. The missionary we're partnered with there, his father was killed by the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War because his father was a pastor. And it deeply hurt him. And he ran from God because of it, out of that pain. But then he came back. And now he's pastoring and he's planting churches and he's reaching people. God's using him in a great way. There's so many of us that some reason we got hurt here or there and we ran. And then God brought us back. And now God uses that pain to reach others. And I don't know what the pain is in your life, but God's going to use it. And I just want to encourage this morning, you're doing such a great thing in West Odessa. You're doing a great thing in the state of Texas and in Vietnam and around this world. Share with your family members. Share with your neighbors. Share with those that you go to the grocery store with. Be an encouragement to others and be a light. And that's what you're helping us do in Vietnam. So thank you for your support. Thank you for what you're doing. And I look forward to coming and seeing you all in person, giving you more updates. And one of these days, we'll hop on a plane and head to Vietnam together. Thank you, and God bless.